You guys, the day I've been waiting for is here. I get to share the new Spellbinders BetterPress with you guys. So I did receive some of the items. There are more examples. I don't have like the actual packaging, what the box might look like, you know, so it's not an unboxing, but it is a showing of the BetterPress and kind of what it can do. So the items that I'll show you, Spellbinders did send free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And any links on the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I want to mention really quickly what the BetterPress, the actual bundle will have in it. I do have that pulled up because right now, it already began, you can pre-order the BetterPress and it goes on sale on June 17th, 2023. So just in a couple weeks here. But the bundle, the exclusive starter bundle, will have the, it says Chase, magnetic platform to hold the press plate, and 3 shims, so it's the whole system. The plate, the clear top plate with registration marks, the exclusive BetterPress plates, the BetterPress black mini ink pad, the cotton card panels, so you have a few 15 A2 size panels, 5 of each of 3 different colors, and best ever craft tape, the 5/8 inch type will be there. You get an exclusive happy birthday set of plates and dies, which are only available in that bundle. And you get BetterPress cotton card panels, A2, this is porcelain 25 pack, high quality 118 pound cardstock, BetterPress ink nature tones mini 4-pack set, and the black BetterPress re-inker also. So a really nice bundle to start off with. It has lots of goodies there, and then there are going to be lots of plates and different things you can pick up. And so maybe I should talk about the system a little bit. From what I've gathered, and I have it here, it is a system to do letterpress, not just letterpress look, but basically letterpress, but in an easier way. And you guys know in the past I had another system, and it was just, I used it very seldomly because you had to use the brayer and the ink, and it would need to be even, and you get over inking, like all this kind of stuff, right? So, just wasn't my favorite, you know, so I have high hopes for this because I like the look of it. It looks crisp, it looks clean for sentiments. Oh, and they have so many sentiments, you guys, you know, Spellbinders, how they do. So just a lot of gorgeous designs, but the sentiments are really what I'm going to be super, like, attracted to, right? I think it's really fun. They're going to look great. And so I'm just going to bring out the press right quick. And if you're not familiar, I guess what I should say with letterpress is what it does is it has like a plate system, or like foil plates, or like dies, but they're not dies, and they push the ink into your paper. So your paper needs to be nice and thick stuff, and Spellbinders created their own like cotton-based paper, I believe, to go with this. So it's a specialty kind of paper. You can try out other papers, of course. You just want to use the thicker paper, the better. But this is the system itself. Now, like I said, I have a sample, so it's just kind of here like this. It looks something, well, it looks like this. This is it. So let me open this up. You are going to run this through a die cutting machine. And excuse me. You are going to run this through a die cutting machine, and with Spellbinders that would be their platinum system, but I'm assuming it's going to go through whatever other machines the Glimmer will go through, which would be like the Big Shot, and those kind of machines that generally accept steel rule dies is your best bet. So right now it has this. It has a cover, and to be honest, the kind of person I am, I would never remove this, but since I am doing this, you know, for a tutorial, I will take this off, but I don't want to. Ooh. Yeah, my microwave, you know, whenever the kitchen was redone 3.5 years ago, still has that little plastic cover on the buttons, you know what I'm saying? Even in my car, I remember my husband removed a long time ago. I mean, this was like 15, 16, 17 years ago. Wow, longer than that. I had a Corolla, and it still had the little plastic on the radio, and he took it off one day, and I was like, what did you just do? So anyway, all right, so we have the BetterPress plate. This is the registration plate. They're saying it has the registration marks on it. As you can see, like the grid, that's going to help you place your papers and things and your plates. It comes with, it looks like 2 plastic shims. Oh, 3. Love it. I love these shims, you guys. If you have the ones for the universal plate system, I recommend picking them up. If you don't have them, I have a couple sets that I picked up, you know, after having the universal plate system, because you can use this in any, you know, sandwich that you need. It's just, instead of using cardstock over and over or finding another piece of cardstock, you have these guys and they're reusable, and gives you that shim. We have the base here. I was wanting to see if it comes out, and it is a magnetic matte. again with the grid lines on there to help you line everything up. And what I love about this, when you put this on here, it sits on top. It's not touching it. It's not doing anything until you are ready for that to happen. So when it goes in the machine, it just kind of goes like this, and then it'll push it down, right? As it goes into the machine, boop, it's pushed down, and your image comes out. So we have those things. That's the basic machine. Like I said, I have what I consider samples. So I do have this. I do not know if this comes separately, if this is something that's even available yet. I love this little bag. How cute is this? Introducing Spellbinders BetterPress letter system. Prepare to be impressed. This might just be a little something for, you know, influencers. I don't know, but it's very cute, and I'm definitely going to keep my BetterPress in here, but it was not listed on the bundle, so we will see what that's about later. But for right now, I did have that, and I wanted to show it to you because it is adorable. So this is or these are what I would consider the basic things that come with the press. Again, it does say it comes with black ink, it comes with all the different A2 size papers, and all these fun things. Again, minor samples, so this is not indicative of what comes in your kit. I'm just showing you the system. Of course, you're going to have your literature, so that's definitely going to come with your system. So we have BetterPress letterpress system, and look how pretty. So you know, this is colored in. I will read through here and see what kinds of things you can color with, and this is the very basic. So they're showing you it comes with your your best craft tape ever, the black ink. The bundle is going to come with a re-inker, but the general bundle, like the basic thing, comes with these items here, and then some of these other fun things that they're showing you. But I think this is more of a brochure type thing, so it's showing you again the very basic, right? They do have a bundle, an exclusive bundle that has more items, but the very basic thing does come with the 3 papers, like I said, the A2 size, the ink, the tape, this plate, which I believe I have here, and it has some sentiments, which is really great. Look how beautiful that is, and I'll give you a quick size on that because it'll come with the basic bundle plus the, you know, upgrade kind of bundle. 5 1/4 inches tall or so, to give you an idea of how big that is. And of course your system. I want to read about if you can, as you can see, they're using watercolor, so obviously it's water fast. I believe it's Archival ink, so that should be safe with water. And oh my goodness, what are these little guys? These have to be my inks. Yeah, again, I have samples, and these are very early samples, so they don't even have the they don't have the branding or the labeling on them yet, but look how pretty. That's pretty. It looks like a reddish purple color, and then the black. But again, samples. You're gonna have the black, and then the bundle comes with the re-inker and things like that. But like I said, I'll have it all linked, and you'll see everything that comes in your specific bundle. And yeah, so I just want to see as far as coloring this in. It looks like you can color with water, you know, for some of these things, and they're showing all. I mean, look at, they just came out with just the most beautiful designs. Get you going. I do have some other items arriving soon, so this is just a quick, let's try it out, get some first impressions, literally, and then we'll go from there. But again, this looks like a brochure, not so much the info to tell you how to use it, but you will have that in your bundle, of course. I have a couple other samples here to share with you, and you know what, let me pull these up in the brochure so you can see what I have here. Okay, I'll be right back. So here today I have this guy. This is the Butterfly Garden. It's the 2 plates, so it's this larger plate, look at that, and then this plate is separate, so you're gonna have this inked up and impressed, and then you can do this separately. I suppose you can run them together if you want. You also have a die that cuts this part out, this whole thing, which is really nice, and just the butterfly, and then just the lettering. You can cut all those things separately, which is really cool. So lots of fun ways to play with that, and so you have that imagery there. And then I have this guy, which is a big kind of statement. Let me see where that might be in this book. You make me happy, right here. And there's an example there with, you know, the letterpress, different colors of ink, and then they just topped it off with some of those gorgeous Spellbinders flowers, as they like to do. And then in the back, or somewhere in here, yeah, it does talk about the inks, different packs of inks. I have some of those on the way, guys. I just don't have them today, and I love the way they showed this to you here, so you can see all the different colors and what they might look like. That is really pretty. And we have the BetterPress cotton sheets, like I said. So again, the paper is like a cotton base. And what I have here, it looks like, I don't know if I have a mix of colors or just the porcelain. Let's see. This one might be pebble. It looks a little bit gray. So today we'll get some first run-throughs. And I want to say that these four are the same than this guy, and then this guy, you can see how this is very slightly less white than like this. So I'm going to say that this is porcelain, right? The one that's more white. Bisque, which is gorgeous. I love that. And then we have pebble. So just really soft, beautiful. Again, porcelain, more white. Bisque a little creamier, and then pebble. So I have some papers here. They are super thick. They almost feel like watercolor paper because it has like that, just a different feel, but it's definitely cotton-based papers. So what I'm going to do is trim some of this down, and we'll just simply get started. Again, you will have more instruction. I'm going to start with your basic imagery like this one, and then we'll go from there. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I did cut down a piece of paper 5.5 by 4.25, so A2 size. That's generally what I like to work with. It does have grids, obviously larger and smaller. You would just, you know, use the grid lines instead of just looking at A2 and A7, which is A2 size, and then A7 is their 5x7 or your 5x7 registration marks. I do want to read to you a little bit of info. Okay, so we have the inks. Like I said, they're archival safe. They're thicker than your regular, you know, just everyday inks. Oil based, and so you are going to want to use water based products to color them in. So you know, watercolors, watercolor or water based markers, you know, I love to use my markers, just kind of pick up the color with a water brush and I go with that. Things like that, color pencils. I would say not alcohol inks. You can try it. We'll see. The other thing is, if you're using the cotton paper, if you're using alcohol inks, it probably will feather because this is a very different kind of surface, right? And so I don't think you're gonna want to use it on here anyway. But if you're using your own papers and you want to try it out, you can try it. I don't know that that's going to work. So I'm just giving you that heads up right now. They do have some tips on the Spellbinders site that I just want to read to you right quick. It says periodically clean your press plates with these guys. So periodically clean them with Archival Ink Cleanser. It's a Ranger product if you would like, you know, obviously to clean them off because it is thicker, like I said. It's a little stickier, oil-based. It's going to start getting into the plate and just stay there after a while, right? So you want to clean those up here and there. To clean the plates says just to remove them from a magnetic pad in the chase. Again, remember they call these the chase and those kind of things. Is a plate. This plate is called a platen. It's just a fancy term for this top plate. But anyway, using a lint-free cloth like flour sack towel or something like that, apply a Ranger Archival ink cleaner to cloth and rub plates, and you know, rinse it off with some dish soap and water to remove any residue, and then fully dry them, of course, before using. BetterPress ink is an oil-based dye ink, just like we had talked about here. When dry, the ink will not re-wet because it's oily, right? So that's a whole different thing. It's perfect for coloring with dye inks and watercolor. Oh yeah, I guess you could color with inks as long as, you know, they're water-based inks. Let's see here. You know, you can use other cardstock and papers. That's what we talked about. That's why you have some shims. This paper is very thick. Maybe you're using a paper that's thick but not as thick. You might want to use a shim along with your papers that are not the cotton-based papers or anything that's like not that same thickness. Let's see. If using double weight cotton card panels, remove shims from beneath the magnetic base. Oh, okay, perfect. I was going to say, I'm not sure where to put the shims yet, but I'll talk about that in just a moment if you are using them. It is not recommended to use pigment ink. So that's like your regular inks. I don't know. I was going to pull one out, but just not recommended to use pigment inks. The foam pad and ink may apply too much ink to the press plate and result for an over-inked impression. Now, if you look at these guys, these are like that felt. Is it called felt? No, it's like cotton cloth, right? See how it's just flat and harder? And a lot of times pigment ink pads are very soft and fluffy, and what they're saying is it'll get pretty much everywhere. It just doesn't work well. It's not saying you can't put pigment ink on them, but it just might not work as well as you would like. You get over-inking. When die cutting an image that has been better pressed, use a pristine top cutting plate because of the thickness and delicate nature of the cotton card panels. Any cuts or impressions on your top plate are going to show through, and that's just what they're talking about is this. Like, I always keep a nice, relatively pristine. Now it has some gouges, but like I don't cut into this plate, right? But I always cut into this one. So that's why this one's completely like looking the way it does. And the top one is better. So they're saying always use a nice clean top plate when you're die cutting. That way the top of your, beautiful project stays nice looking. And keep a pair of tweezers handy, just in case. I do want to look for the information about if you can use the glimmer plates, because I know they look very similar, right? These are silver. They definitely want you to know that this is a plate for the letterpress, right? So it's a different color than your glimmer plates that are like that Spellbinders gold. That they normally use. So let me get that info for you, and then we'll start playing. So as far as glimmer, how are these plates different from glimmer or etch dyes? Again, the color, which is one thing, but these are also coated with a special coating to help hold on to your ink, right? So they are different. They're a really nice plate. I mean, look at the detail on that. Look at this. Just super detailed, really lovely. Not saying the other ones aren't, they're just different, right? And it says they are a different thickness than the other plates. These look a little thinner to me. They also feature a special coating, again, for the ink to adhere, right? Can you use glimmer plates in the BetterPress system? No. So I probably should have grabbed a glimmer plate or two. Let me do that just so you have a better visual. So this is, your typical letterpress plate. And this is like a glimmer plate. This is the new one for June of 2023. I just grabbed one of the waves. And so we have that, right? Okay. And it says, no, you cannot use the glimmer plates in the BetterPress system. So don't take this guy and, adhere it here. It'll stick, obviously. But what they're saying is don't run it through, because these are thicker than these. So in this system, you don't want to do that. You're going to end up hurting your magnetic mat or this top plate or however. Okay, so we don't want to do that. It just says using them in the BetterPress system will cause damage to the magnetic platform and plate, which is literally what I just said. So you don't want to do that. But it also has some info. Can you use the BetterPress? Can you use the BetterPress plates in the glimmer, right? So if you have your glimmer, which mine's over here, I'll just take the top plate. I don't know if I can get it. There we go. This is our glimmer. As you can see, they're very similar, right? The way they look. This one has a little handle and everything down there. There's glimmer. That's glue. Let's put that back over here. So your glimmer system. Early testing says that yes, the press plates work beautifully when used with the glimmer system. So you can use these in here. Now, the reason I'm assuming they say early testing is that this has its own coating. It's its own thing to work with this system. So let's say after a while being heated up and different things, if that coating starts getting messed up, I don't know. But what they're saying is their early testing is showing that you can use them. I like to keep things separate. That's just how I am. But it does give you a more variety. But do you really have to have these foiled? I mean, if you're using them in the letterpress, just letterpress them. Like, that's how I see things. But that's just me. Okay. It says they did work beautifully when used in the glimmer system to add a hot foil to cardstock. The team is in the midst of conducting longevity testing, which is literally what you see, guys, I'm just looking at these questions and I'm reading them to you. But these are things I already assume, just in hearing, different companies and how they make their products. So they're in the midst of conducting longevity testing to ensure that long-term hot foil use does not degrade the coating on the press plates, but earlier results look promising. So again, that's what I assumed. I probably will not use mine in the glimmer just because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use them for these guys, and that's it. And again, these hot foil plates do not go here. Do not use them in here. You can use them obviously here. So this is what you can do, and this is what you can do. And that's it, okay? So don't use the gold ones here. I'm gonna put this back over here somewhere. Bye-bye, glimmer. Okay, so after some of that info, hopefully, those are the main things that I was wondering, so I'm assuming those are probably the main things you're wondering. Again, in my little beginner kit here, I did not receive tape and all that kind of stuff. Obviously I have it in my stash. So let's open this up. You're going to take your plate, turn it over, because obviously you want your paper to touch this. Now, I don't know if this actually has one side or not. This side looks very flat, and this side is a little more textured, so I'm going to put that side facing down. That way my image goes into this more textured side. I don't know. That's just what I'm doing today. We will see. Maybe for the next one, I am going to do a little bit of coloring for you guys. Maybe for the next one, we will change that up. So basically, line that up so it's nice and straight, And I usually like making mine a card topper, so I usually end up trimming it down, but I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on the very edges. I mean, most of my design's going to be in the middle here, but you want to place your tape where it's not obstructing wherever your plate is, right? So just putting that there and here. Now, I don't have anything under here, but what they're saying is if you want to use shims, if you need to use shims, let's say you're using paper that's not this really thick stuff, you might want to shim. So you might want to put one piece. If it didn't work out so well, put 2 pieces. You know, you have 3 pieces, and then put this back on top. And that's what gives you your difference, which is really nice. I was just gonna run over the top, but then I realized, oh, you can actually place it right down in there. Now, you know, I'm just going to start off with none, I suppose. We'll see what happens. All right, so we have this guy. You do have 2 sentiments on here. They are the same sentiment, just that one is spelled, it says to my favorite person. This one also says to my favorite person, but this one has the OU, like favorite, how for, you know, selling it in the UK. So there's that. And then we have this beautiful floral. I mean, how do you want to use it? That's really good. That really stays in there. I guess that's why it said that you might want to have some tweezers, but I'm just pushing it to the side and now I can grab it. That holds on really nicely, which is great. Not so great from a manicure. I don't have a manicure, I know my nails, you know. I don't know, guys. I wanted to use that, and then I wanted to put a sentiment. Oh, so let's use that, and let's use this one. And again, I'm just looking at the grid lines. Obviously this I want it to be kind of fun, and this guy, obviously I want that to be more straight, so I can check out the grid lines there. Let me just pop it in here somewhere. I'm looking at those lines. That looks pretty straight. Okay, that looks good. I'm kind of looking at the lettering. And then when this is on top, obviously this will push in, and that's where you'll get your impression, and that's where it'll be. So you can just design right on there. The magnets in this machine are really good. Okay, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use both of them. So since this looks like a reddish color, you know, I guess I can tap it somewhere and we can figure that out. Oh, it's like hot pink, even better. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna take this on here, and they did say that you would want to pounce in a way that's kind of like, I'm kind of like squishing it in there. Obviously you don't want to go too much, and that's why this magnet's so good. I mean, it's really not moving. Okay, so you want to put quite a bit, and then, you know, we can do it again if it doesn't quite work out. And then this is the black. So pounce, pounce, rub, rub, kind of really getting it in there. I'm kind of like twisting. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I do film in my house, and it's about time for the postman. Yep, to make his deliveries. There you go. Okay. Now I will say I did get some back here. So let me grab some paper toweling, which I don't have here with me. I'll be right back. I'm gonna wipe that off now. I'm wiping that pretty good. I don't think it has to be the biggest deal, but you do want to get that going. And you don't have to work like super fast. Again, it's oil based, it's not gonna dry. But since I walked away, of course, I'm gonna do a little more on the pink again. Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna pop this on top, and again, it doesn't touch until you actually run it through your machine. In the meantime, I did say, again, they did recommend using the platinum machines, the Big Shot, those kinds of machines. I'm just gonna run this through, guys, and we will see what we got. So again, it kind of just goes in. That's really interesting because I don't feel like any pressure. So we'll see if we did anything. I might have to add some shims. Let's see what we have. Okay, so it worked. I could go with probably another shim or 2. As you can see, it's kind of light, just in there. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to run it through again because I wasn't planning on doing 2 different cards today. So now, for the next time, I will add a shim, maybe 2, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is go ahead and just take these guys off and just wipe them down. And again, I'm kind of sliding them off that way. That worked for me. And just wiping off whatever excess ink worked really well. As you can see, I didn't get on my project at all. So I'll be right back. Okay, my friends. So I'm just going to remove this, and you know, I have another piece here. Since I have the full-size sheets, I cut them down. I obviously have 5.5 and then 4.25, so I have another one from the other side of this. And you know, I'm gonna reuse my tape here. Now, I could have just run that back through and no problem, you know, added some shims, run back through, but I decided not to. I'm just gonna continue on and try this other plate over here. And let's see. And the other thing, I mean, obviously, what we're looking for with the BetterPress as far as letterpress is that it pushes in to the paper. And this one's pretty on the surface. I mean, there's a little bit of impression, but again, it needs to be thicker. So what I'm gonna do is put that to the side. Let's go with 2. I feel like if I go with 3, I don't know. Should we just do all 3? Let's do all 3 and see what happens. So I'm gonna go with all 3 shims. I'm just gonna pop those there, and of course my little tape wants to stick. There we go. Pick this up. And we'll just use a larger plate. Well, kind of thinking about what I want to do. So I put all 3 shims down, and this is higher up. And for that lip there. And then we have this guy, I have it turned over. You can see the lettering's backwards. I have this here with, again, this side is a little rougher over here. And well, this will be interesting. Let me put this here and here. I'm putting them on the very edge because what I'm looking at with this big guy is the imagery, and it's just missing the edges. You see that? The very corner, should I say? So that's what I'm going to go for, just barely holding on. And I suppose if you wanted to double this over, you know how you do that kind of thing when you do like birthday gifts, gift wrapping, I guess any gift, you can wrap it like that and you can pop it underneath and that'll hold it up. Or use some double-sided tape, right? But right now what I'm doing is just barely holding the very, very corners. Okay guys, so I'm gonna put that to the side for a moment. Again, I'm gonna turn it over like this, you know, to actually do the pressing. And let's get this guy. Now I have a feeling I'm going to get the question, sorry, if you can use other impression dyes. I know they're on the market, obviously other companies have things like this, and in this machine. It depends, I suppose, but I'm kind of what they call a chicken. I'm not gonna do that. Let me put this on here a little straighter. I wouldn't even try it because I don't want to hurt this machine or this tool, should I say? It's not quite a machine, tool. That's just not something I'm interested in doing. They sometimes, you know, depends on the company's design. I don't know, they might be thicker. It's not something I'm interested in. Now, I do see that this is larger than your regular A2, so what I'm thinking is maybe I should go ahead and use a larger piece of paper. So I'm going to do that. It looks like this is, it looks like I want to be careful with my inking, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So let me see. Yeah, it's 4.5 inches. Sorry guys, I didn't expect that. By roughly 5 3/4. So I'm going to cut down a piece of paper 4.5 by 5 3/4. Then I can just ink this whole thing and not worry about it. And then again, just tape it down. But we'll do that together. So what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't put another company's impression dyes in here and try to run it through. What I would do though is I would use these inks on those impression dyes because that's part of the problem. It's like whatever you put on it just like beads up, right? And it doesn't hold as well. But these inks are different and they're thicker and they're oil based, and that probably will work for those dyes to use, you know, in whatever machine system that you normally use. Not in here. Again, I'm a chicken. I'm not going to do it, and that's just me. But I will be right back with a piece of paper that's 4.5 by 5 3/4. Rearrange it a little bit so we can work on this. All I'm going to do is just take this off and center the other one back on top. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm just going to take off my little bits here, and then we'll just center this one. And actually, that was the cream color, like the bisque color, and I actually wanted to use the one that's porcelain, the white one, for this second card anyway, so that's fine. So again, 5 3/4 by 4.5, and I'll be right back. Take that guy off, and I'll use that on the next one. And this guy, now I'm going to center it here. I'm basically covering up those grid lines. I don't know if you can see the grids there. And I guess we can kind of take a peek and see if we're in the right spot. Actually, you can see right through this, so you know if you're in the right spot. It'll stick down either way, and I suppose you probably can run it through the machine either way. This is upside down right now. That looks pretty good. Let's go over here and see where that, yep. Okay, again, just the very corners. And I'll be right back. I'm just going to place these back on the very corners. Again, I guess it doesn't matter if you use the plate this way or that way. It actually looks exactly the same, even in these little areas. But, you know, I like to see it the way it should be. And so we have that. Should we run the whole thing, you guys? Let's just do this one separately. That way we'll have something else to kind of look at, how we have like a whole background piece and then like a topper piece. That would be good. Okay, so let's grab the black ink, and that is the pink one. That is gorgeous, but today we're using this. And again, I was being a little shy earlier, so let's go ahead and tap, 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 roll, 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 really get that ink in there. We have the 3 shims underneath this time, so I went right for it, right? All the shims. We will see. And I'm going to think the rule of thumb is probably just leaving all the shims, but, you know, you don't have to go too wild with them either. Did I keep my towel here? I did not. Actually, that's going to be outside of the card anyway, so with the other one it was more critical because you want it to be nice and clean and pristine. This time, you know, this is going to be outside the card edges. Might have a little something there. Really getting it in there. And since this is new to me, maybe I'm doing too much, I don't know, but I just want to make sure we have that on there. Really get that in there. Okay, that's fine. I have a little extra there. Oh, I touched that corner. Alright, let's pop this back on top. Again, it doesn't touch until we want it to, so that's good. And bring our machine back. And let me see about the resistance, because like I said earlier, I barely had any resistance. Oh, you know what? I think my plate might have moved a little bit. But actually, that's okay, because we're going to trim this down anyway. And so I'm going to put that in there, roll it through. Yes, definitely more resistance, but not even like that much. Here we go. Ooh, let's take the whole thing out and take a look. There we go. Again, that was 3 shims, and it might have been a little much, maybe 2 shims, because I can see it kind of bowed a little bit, but that means there was a lot of pressure, right? Very pretty. I don't know how long this takes to dry. I think it's almost instantaneously, but for now, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go wipe this one down, and I'm going to get it ready for this guy, for the sentiment part, okay? But I'll be right back. Again, I just wiped this down, but they do recommend after a while you can use that Ranger product. For right now, all I did was wipe it down. And this is the other part of the porcelain paper that I have left from cutting this guy down. And I did say I was gonna have this set up, but I did not, as you can see, because I want to walk that with you guys. I just wiped it down. That's it. I have a feeling that if you use just alcohol, that might help you too. Just wipe everything down. With a little bit of alcohol. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put it on this yet, because this obviously has a coat, you know, like this coloring, the black grid, and I wouldn't want to take that off. But alcohol generally doesn't hurt, things like that. I just want to get this one going. I'm going to cut it out anyway, so I don't really care where it is on this surface, you know, and obviously you don't want to waste paper, so maybe what we should do is trim this down. But, you know, if you don't want to and you're just kind of like, I just want to get it going, I would just put the whole piece of paper on there. But let's get over here and let's do that. So if that guy's there, and again, you know, I kind of cut it in a certain way, so that's gonna be there. I'm gonna take this off, and then I'm just gonna tape that to this surface. Again, you can do it while it's upside down, you can see exactly where you're taping it to, right? I'll be right back. Okay guys, so on this one actually, because I did cut the paper in a specific way, and if I stick it down while it's up here and then turn it over, it's gonna obviously not be in the right spot. I just went ahead and stuck it down where I felt like, and then I just made sure that the plate underneath just fit under there. So that's where it is. I still have the 3 shims underneath. I think, you know, it worked. Might as well leave it for the next one. I always recommend using the least amount of pressure for anything to get done. But since it is letterpress and we do want that, you know, deboss being pushed into the paper, it's a very thin line. It's very elegant what Spellbinders is doing here. So really love it. I can feel it, and it's just very, very delicate. Beautiful. So we have that. I'm still going to do this in black ink. You know, you can of course mix and match. Like if I did pink here, I can just place it on there. Just be careful, and I think that would look really lovely. Again, pouncing, pouncing, pouncing. And then doing a mix of the pouncing and a little bit of the zhuzh, right? Just making sure you're getting in all the surfaces. I mean, look how much more is on that butterfly now than before. I can see my lettering in here might need a little extra. Again, the lettering is delicate and thin, so there we go. And again, I don't mind if this gets on anything because it's just going to be cut out anyway, but I do see that like in here I have a little extra, and I'm using my finger. Of course, you know what, actually I have some Q-tips that would be good for this, the kind of use for like nail polish, the little pointy ones. I'm going to leave that and just see what happens. I want to see how far this pushes in, and we might be okay anyway. So let's run it through. It's so funny, I'm just looking at it. It reminds me of the glimmer, so then I'm like, oh, I don't have to wait for anything to be ready. It's just ready when I say it's ready, right? And we can go slowly just to really make sure that that imprints really nicely. And let's check this guy out. Nice. Okay, so as you can see, there was some ink. I don't know if you can see it right there. I did wipe this one with my finger, but I left that one there on purpose, and like these little bits that I have here, just to see if it gets pushed in enough to see if that is a problem. And it is clearly not, because you don't see it at all. Great. Okay, awesome. So that kind of answers that question as far as if you get a little over inking, like is that going to show up on your project? I mean, I kind of left this corner one and literally nothing happened. And look how pretty that is. My goodness. Okay, well, let me clean up and we're going to do some coloring and die cutting, and I'll be right back. So I'm just going to put my BetterPress to the side. It has some good weight to it. It's a really nice feeling tool. It looks really elegant. I think they did a really nice job of creating this guy. Feels really nice and sturdy. So I'm going to, again, I can take this to my guillotine and cut this down, right? I think what I'm going to do first, though, is go ahead and do my coloring. I was going to go ahead and start die cutting, but when I do that, I'm going to use my precision nesting dies, and I think for the A2, I'm not going to do the largest one that does a complete A2. I think I'm going to go a little bit smaller because that's what I like. So I'll use this guy, so we'll keep that handy. And then for this one, we are going to also die cut that with the dies that come along with it. And again, there are several dies. You can cut just the butterfly, you can cut this whole thing out, which is what I'm going to do. You can cut this portion that I'm assuming, yep, cuts the words, so you can just have that if you just wanted to ink that part up and have a really nice sentiment for another project. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this whole thing when we get there. So we have that guy. And it's been a few minutes. I don't know. I wasn't really like counting or, you know, keeping track. But what I'm going to do is just color this guy in. Again, I'm pretty sure it dries almost immediately. Might have to put some more water in my brush pen here. And I just want to go with a very small amount of color. So just something, just like a little suggestion of color. So let me see how light this green is. And I'm just gonna, you know, a little water, pick that up. And just the smallest amount, yeah. And again, this is cotton paper, it's different. So I'm kind of also checking it out to see how it soaks up color. Again, I'm doing this very, very lightly. You can build it up. I don't think you want to go over it too much, because maybe it might start pilling, things like that, right? Whatever. You look at new papers and you're trying them out. These are the kinds of things that we want to try out. So it is very light green, very pale, and that's what I want. I just want a little bit of color. Literally anything that's green, I'm just gonna use the same green. So I'm just adding a little bit. Obviously you can do a variation of colors. Okay, so anything green, I'm gonna use this super light green. And being very technical of wiping it on my hand like this. The softest paint colors. These are just some water-based markers I have here. And, you know, just a little bit of color. Kind of pull it out like that. That's all I want. So, oh, did I pick up the right color? Might have picked up some green that time. Just a little bit and kind of pulling that out. It almost acts like watercolor paper, but I'm not trying to saturate it, guys. Being very gentle with it since it's a new kind of thing for me here. And so I'll use different colors for the different flowers, maybe like a little yellow in the center, things like that, but I'm not going to go too wild, right? So just a little like that, like maybe these purpley ones next to here. That purple's a little deeper, but that's okay. And of course you can move your paper. I'm trying to fight what would be natural pulling out this way. Okay, so just a little something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and add a little color to everything. And I'll be back. So again, I just want it all to be really just muted colors. I only added a little bit, so I'm going to hit it with the heat tool just to dry it a little bit, but not really a lot, okay guys? So just, I mean, the smallest amount. It really does take color really well. It does act like a watercolor kind of paper, so that's really nice. And so I will replace my little markers here, and with these guys, oh, you know what, maybe a little something on that butterfly, right, just to bring some back. Now let's see, I suppose you can put this however you'd like. It's gonna be cut out and just pops in maybe here. Let's do purple. I still have some purple on here. And just to add a little color. Again, start where you think it's darkest and then just pull the color out towards the other direction. That's kind of what I do. And I'm just adding the smallest amount of color. Yeah, I mean, just really quick. I might hit that with the heat tool too. Now let's see how this looks like. Okay, we can definitely see our edges and all that. So I'm gonna hit it with the heat tool. I'm going to tape this down just like that. It's all around. Tape it down, obviously we don't want that to move. And then I have this big guy, and I'm just going to place this, you know, wherever I would like, which is like about there. Tape that down, run that through too, and I'll be right back. Call to use nice clean plate on top, and yeah, I mean that looks great. Didn't do anything, because again the paper is sensitive as far as like the pressure, and so lines and all that kind of stuff. Really pretty. Okay, I'll be back. I want to show you, whenever I glued, put my tape on this, I put it on the outside, put it towards the inside. If it touches this, it's quite possible that you are going to tear off like some of the layers, because again, this cotton paper is fancy stuff. It's delicate, although it's very sturdy. What I mean is it's delicate, and you know that it has obviously layers and they're soft. So whenever I took it off of the first one, off this piece, you know, off the edges, I'd seen that like a couple layers came up with it. So when I taped this, I taped towards the outside. I didn't tape it towards my project, of course. Let's go ahead and glue this down, and then I put some dimensionals on the back side of my other piece already. And you can kind of see what they're talking about as far as having a nice clean top plate. Like this is that bottom plate that I normally cut into, and there's like etchings, right, from that. I'll put a little more glue down in the center here, and I'm choosing this to be the top. I mean, I don't know. That looks good to me. Landscape on this one. I'm going to hold that down, and then I'm just going to pop this on top, okay, once it's ready. Just gonna pop that guy up there. And then you know, with our little trial run here, super pretty, and hopefully you can see, well, the difference, right? This had the 3 shims, and I really inked it up, and this one was no shims, or had no shims. You know, inked it up as much as I thought I needed to. That one, yeah, obviously it's very pops, it's very clear. This one has a little gray there, so you might want to go again. More ink, more pressure, seems good to me. And this will not be wasted. I'll just run this through like a tag die or something and have a piece of that on there. I think it'll be really pretty. So there's that. It makes a nice background, you know. I'll be right back. Place this, I'm just looking, there we go. All right, so what did we learn today? So a few different things. I do like having more shims. Obviously ink it up, do the pouncing and that kind of method. These guys are Archival ink, you know, quality, waterproof, oil-based, they're gonna come in like 10 or 12 different colors. As far as the bundles, the brand new bundle that comes with the basic machine, but then all these extras, you'll see, I'll have it linked there, and you'll see all the different things it comes with. It does come with, you know, the inks and all these fun things. The basic bundle does come with the one black ink, and then most of the basic items that I showed you, which was this sprig, you know, design with the 2 sentiments. Do not bring your foil press plates over here, okay, to the letterpress, because they are thicker and you don't want to damage your tool or your machine or anything else, or the plates or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, we were very gentle with it, and as you can see, even, you know, doing the 3 shims and all that kind of stuff, other than having some ink on here, it's nice and flat. It's not like bowed or picked up in the center or anything odd, you know, nothing like that going on. I'll probably always just keep these 3 shims underneath, and then we have that. You can definitely use these plates in your foiling system. Again, long term, we don't really know because it's a new system. Even if they try it every day, that's like, I don't know, you know, after how many times does it take for this coating and for this, you know, what's on here to break down. So for me, I'm not putting it in the foil press, but you can definitely try. But do not bring your foil press plates, your foil press plates over here. This is letterpress, right? Yeah, so I think those are the basic things I wanted to go over today and just try it out and have our first impressions and go from there, right? So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. Again, it's on pre-order right now until June 17th. That's the actual date that they will begin going out. So keep an eye out. I have some other add-on, you know, sentiments and all these fun things, and I'm really going to be loving this for sentiments. I'm a huge fan of the foil press sentiments, and I think they just look so crisp and clean. And the difference between this and just stamping is obviously the impression it leaves. So it's the impression and the ink, right? So not just the ink sitting on top of the paper. It just kind of pushes it in and makes it look a little more elegant. So thanks for watching, guys. I will have links as appropriate. I'll have the images coming up, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.